Welcome back. With us now is Bill Jones of the Jones Law Firm, as well as Angela Lawson of the Law Offices of J. Vincent Perryman. We are talking about common mistakes made by clients. Guys, before the break, we were talking about you shouldn't be afraid to go see an attorney. And I think another component of that is when you're sitting down and you're talking with an attorney, you need to understand the terms of representation and not be afraid to be honest with the attorney. So, and I think some of that is you know, there's certain things that are going to be privileged when you're talking to that. So if you guys could talk about that.
I'll let you.
Well, you know, when you have a client come in for a meeting, they sometimes are hesitant because they're not sure exactly, you know, what all this is going to involve. And so a lot of times clients are kind of hesitant to tell you the whole story. They're kind of hesitant to share with you all the details that are necessary. And that's a really big hindrance to representation a lot of times. You know, clients are afraid that if they say the wrong thing, then maybe they're not going to, you know, want to take me on as a client, or, you know, maybe my case will look better if I, you know, kind of put a little spin on it. And so that's, you know, that's an issue. Sometimes you have to really, you know, let the client know, okay, everything that you're saying in here is privilege. It's between the, you know, the attorney-client privilege, and, you know, you have to be honest with me. I need to know everything.
Yeah, the attorney-client privilege is built in there to foster and encourage that type of communication. We get a lot of referrals from folks that we know, from members of our church, from members of our children's school, and there is that fear or that concern there. Okay, if I tell you my innermost secrets, these things, is it going to get back to the church or get back to the school or get back to this? It amazes me. Folks will come up to my wife and say, hey, I saw I went and met with your husband the other day. And my wife looks at him and goes, I'm sorry, I didn't know. You know, because it's one of those things where we don't even tell our spouses, hey, this is what happened at work today. It can make for some boring conversations at home sometimes. But we do that good of a job protecting those secrets. And it's because, as you were saying, we don't want to get caught in court with our pants down. I would much rather know from day one that you're a coke addict, or that you've got a problem with domestic violence or something of that nature, so I can prepare for it and get ready for it, rather than you lie to me about it bold-faced. We get to court, we're in trial, and the other side says, oh, and by the way, I've got X, Y, and Z that shows your clients this. We can only defend against it if we know it. And if you lie to your attorney, you're doing yourself the greatest disservice that you can do.
And almost every attorney I know has some occasion where you're in a trial and with that lying client, and maybe they're not a lying client, maybe they're just an omission, you know, but where it just cooks the whole thing, and then the client's angry at you.
Sure.
And it's like,
you know, we do family law. So if someone has had an affair, the natural inclination is to say, nope, they don't know about it, never going to find out. We look at it differently. Instead of trying to lie about it, we're going to come as clean as we can. I mean, when the court asks, did you have an affair? Yes. What was her name? XYZ. I did it 3 times, I'll do it 3 times more.
Yeah.
I mean, because at that time you're showing the court, if I'm not lying about this, guess what? I'm not going to lie about what my income is.
Right. And as we kind of wrap up this segment, I think we need to reiterate for potential clients, they also need to know when they have retained an attorney, because when they come in my office for initial consult, because of confusion, I now have them sign a short agreement that says, that works as their receipt and also explains to them that until there is a retainer agreement signed and the retainer is fully paid, they have not retained our firm.
Yeah. Yeah, just because you go meet with an attorney does not mean you've hired that attorney.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we're out of time for this edition of Legalese, so I'd like to thank our guests for taking time out of their busy schedules to be with us and for sharing their thoughts and insights. If you'd like more information about Legalese or any other program on GHS TV, please refer to our website at www.ghstv.org. Thank you for joining us today, and be sure to join us next month for more discussion on legal topics. Until then, I am Vince Perryman, and thank you for watching.